Pennsylvania Democratic Senator John Fetterman, who earlier today got rushed to the hospital after a fall near his home in Pennsylvania, and thankfully he's doing okay. But before that scary incident I mentioned, he was talking about the level of hatred he gets on social media.
I love that the socialist division, the socialist flank of the Democratic Party, has actually finally made Republicans start to create this distinction between normal Democrats and socialist Democrats. Notice how these very same guys, M. HUD, everyone has been stealing your clip. They've been posting it on Twitter. I'm letting you know, you're too late to the game. Megaphonics was the first, of course, expected to come in and be like, this is what happened to John Fetterman. They found the video. That's fine. Oh no, it's spreading. I'm assuming there will be, by the end of today, there will be like at least 100,000 people who genuinely think this is the actual video of John Fetterman falling. Also, what I was saying is the actual left populist flank of the Democratic Party, the socialist flank of the Democratic Party, has caused the Republicans who say Nancy Pelosi's a communist to literally go back and be like, actually, never mind. Those are the real Democrats. Those are the good Democrats. What happened? I thought Democrats were entirely a communist party. What the fuck happened? What happened? Now they're even defending Democrats. How did this happen? Perhaps there is a lesson to be learned from this. Perhaps the lesson for establishment Democrats and centrist Democrats is not to actually fight back against their left flank, but to lean into it, because that ends up creating a threat for the Republicans, so much so that they start backpedaling. They get on the defensive. They start trying to show centrist Democrats as the reasonable position. It's so funny seeing Fox News talk about how we want a strong Democratic Party for the first time ever. Okay? Normally, that's just that's what Nancy Pelosi used to say, right? You don't hear that from anybody else. I ain't never heard a Republican talk about good Democrats until some real fighters came around and they decided, oh, fuck, we had it too good for too long. Didn't even realize that there was a real threat out here. Anyway, yeah, this is not actually John Fetterman. I have to keep saying that because I know someone's going to fall for this misinformation eventually. I think that they're realizing that Trump had motion and momentum because he leaned into the base. He leaned into the demands of the base and he highlighted them and he won. I mean, he saw a lot of success for that reason. And there was a lot of internal resistance at first. And then they became the Trump party. And not only did they become the Trump party, but American politics was redefined by Donald Trump. Just as American politics was redefined by Ronald Reagan, and just as American politics was redefined by FDR, Trump was a Trump was a transformational figure for American politics. Okay? Obviously, FDR is the only good example of this, by the way. The positive transformation. Reagan is a negative one, and Trump is also a negative one. But my point is, they are fearful of also, the Republicans are fearful of the Democrats having a similar transformational figure in the Democratic Party. Okay? That's what they are afraid of. They're afraid of a Trump-style figure rising from the left, rising from the socialist alternative flank of the party that will, of course, lean into the desires of the base of support within the Democratic Party and basically recreate an FDR 2.0 style situation, if not even better than that, right? Move American policymaking and American infrastructure in a positive direction for once after decades of stagnation or deterioration.
Socialists look at America as a petri dish. We're the lab rats in their experiment. AOC is saying, you know, lab rats, come join us. Embrace your tormentors. All socialists begin by saying they're Democrat socialist. And then when that fails, they drop the adjective, they go full authoritarian. Look at Venezuela. The leader, I can't remember, was it?
Buttfeld. They are desperate to talk about anything other than Epstein, huh? Yeah. Yep.
The ugly guy or the other guy.
Talking about, by the way?
He pushed socialism for the 21st century. That was the slogan. Then he quickly shifted.
Oh my God. No. Wait, because I've tweeted this GIF at him dozens of times. I'm so glad he's seeing our work. Oh my God, that's the GIF he's talking about. Oh my God. Completely asinine lol. He tries to come off as an intellectual with all them bullshit ass papers in front of him. What a joke. I mean, he has a fucking poop mug in front of him. I don't think he's trying to come across as an intellectual. These guys abhor intellectualism. They genuinely think it's like a negative thing. They want an uneducated populace. They want the base to be stupid, angry, resistant to change in the positive direction, lacking hope. They love their stupids. They, in many instances, they're actually much more intelligent than they let on, I would say. Maybe not Greg Buttfeld, but...
The DSA has been quietly and systematically working to build their troops. And bad policy will beat no policy every time. They're super smart about it. They know how to organize. They have...
yeah, you know what's even better than bad policy that beats no policy? Good policy. Bad policy beats no policy is the Republican method. Republicans do bad policy, and it beats the Democratic Party's no policy. But what's even better than bad policy is good policy. And that's precisely what the socialist flank is trying to develop, is trying to build.
Classes where you can learn how to speak better. They are teaching people how to go and be persuasive. Now, in a lot of ways, to me, it's like the counter to Turning Point USA. And thankfully, Turning Point USA is growing so much. And their mission is assured because of Erica Kirk's stewardship there. And they're going to need them.
The DSA literally does not have the same institutional the same institutional legitimacy within the Democratic Party as the Turning Point USA does within the Republican Party. It's not even an appropriate comparison, and they already recognize that it's not an appropriate comparison when they say it's actually they're building their ranks from the side. You wouldn't say that about Turning Point USA because TPUSA is completely aligned, if not directly a weapon, directly a part of the Republican Party infrastructure. Why is the right doing identity politics now? Because they are, because they're losing, okay? Or they're at least very fearful of losing. And when you are losing, you hit the fucking back pedal, okay? You start behaving like Democrats do. Also, Republicans have always done identity politics, let's be real, as the chatters are correctly pointing out. When have they not done IDPOL? They just do white IDPOL usually, and they do a shittier version of like, the token IDPOL, but that's still very much IDPOL in the direction of white men in particular.